Hi everyone, in this video I'm gonna try to show you a tutorial about how to install your custom liveries into the game, the liveries you have downloaded, or even how to create your own liveries and add them to the game. I'm gonna try to speak the best English I can, I'm sure, because I'm Spanish, though I have been living in the UK for a couple of years. I haven't improved as much as I would like to, but anyway, sorry, yes, from the beginning of the video. First of all, you're gonna need to download this link, this document. Actually, this is a raw document. Inside of it you will find two folders. These are the some libraries, about 40 more or less. Most of them are for the A320 Airbus 320, sorry. You need to select them, drag them into the here. All right, what is this folder? This is the you share folder, your own folder, where you can find your downloads, your documents, pictures, music, and everything. If you have not activated to show the hidden folders, you need to go and check this box just to make sure you can see this folder. Anyway, there is another way to do these things. It's just to well, I'm gonna go back. If you are here in this folder, you can come here to the direction bar and then the inverted bar and appdata. Press enter and we'll get into the folder. It doesn't matter if the folder is hidden. Well, this is for the default installation folder. I mean, if you have changed the default installation folder, you need to go to the folder you have installed the game, sorry. And then inside it appdata we go to local and packages. This is the game folder. Inside packages is I believe everything or nearly everything of the game files. And then we need to find Microsoft Flight Simulator. There should be only one with a name. Here it is. Then local cache, packages, and community. And you should have this folder empty if you haven't installed any library before. And you just need to drag these two folders inside. Sorry, I'm getting confused. inside this one in community, and that's it. If you just want to install a package of libraries, just a tip, because if you want to install more than one package, this won't work, and you will need to do a more difficult way. How would it be? Just more or less similar to the way I'm gonna explain it right now, but this way is mainly for the tutorial how to make your own library. So I'm gonna start with everything that you need to do to create your own library. So for Photoshop we're gonna need this plugin. I'm gonna leave the link in the description box, just like in the deliveries. Why? Because DDS is the extension that texture are the texture file is made. So if you go to the texture file, that's in the extension DDS. You download this plugin just over here and follow this instruction, or just do what I'm gonna show you right now. Inside that file you will find this folder and these plugins. Let's go to the 64-bit. You know, anyone that plays the place Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I'm pretty sure is using a 64-bit computer. Here we got in the Adobe Photoshop main folder where it's installed plugins, or we can install it in plugins and file format, or maybe require and plugins again in file format. I don't know why it's duplicated, but I believe it should work anyways. It doesn't matter where you install them. So as you can see, Intel Texture Works is this file. Let's go back to the scripts. Okay, there are two files in here. Where do we need to install them? Let's go back, not this one, sorry, and let's go back to the main folder of Photoshop, and this time let's go to presets and scripts, and inside here you can see them, Intel Texture Works, as is then they are showing here. So now we are finished with this. Let's go to this folder. Alright, let's go inside. You will find this inside the it doesn't matter the plan you wanna edit. This time I'm gonna show you the A320 Asobo, and here you can find every company or every airliner, every airline divided in different folders, name, texture dot, and the name of the company or anything you want. So if you make your own one, you can put set any name for it. Name it the way you want. Sorry, I'm gonna show you the Iberia one. The Iberia. Is it Iberia? Yeah, Iberia. There are a few files in here. What are them? DDS are the textures, and JSON are the files that the game needs to load this, the textures. So they are in couples. Every DDS is coupled in JSON with the same name, but it's same name. But for example, this livery doesn't have the engine one. For example, there's no engine, but you cannot use this one for the engine. You need to go to any with the engine. For example, Delta has the engine, and copy this one for the one you want to make. Let's go back to Iberia, just because I want to show you just one thing. Once you open in Photoshop the DDS texture, it will take some time to open it. Once you open it, it might show this screen with one or two boxes to check, but don't check them. Make sure they are not checked. If they are checked, uncheck them. Leave them like this one. Press OK. The texture will load in your Photoshop. You can create your R, and here for the fuselage, this is the front part of the fuselage, this is the back part, this is the tail, and a few more parts that I'm gonna let you find out because I don't know all of them. What are them? So find out by yourself what are them. If you create new layers, if you create new layers, just make sure you go to layer and combine them and make only one layer. It needs to be just one layer, everything on one layer. Then go to file, save as. Then here make sure that the type of the extension of the file is Intel Texture Works DDS. Then if you see this box is checked, the layers, this is the layer box, is if checked, make sure to uncheck it. It will go to copy as, and you won't be able to uncheck both of them. Anyway, if it comes here to copy as, just press on the file you want to replace, and the name will be here replaced with the name, proper name. Then we'll show the screen asking you if you want to replace the file. You press yes, of course, and it hasn't replaced it yet because it will ask you this thing. This is the presets you need to set before saving the file. For this one, for these liveries, I always use color plus alpha in texture type, compression BC7, AVPP fine, and min match. This is very important. Make sure it's in auto generate. Then it might ask you to save. Just any name will do. Press enter once you finish with the name, and OK, and the file will save. I'm not gonna save it. You might have some issue. For example, here you can see the preview, but once I have edited any texture with this process, I always get this logo, and I'm not able to see the preview anymore. But don't worry, it will work anyways in the game. I'm gonna show you just a little bit. As I said before, this has two boxes. I don't have them checked, and I don't know what is this thing actually. I usually paint this and that's it. If you wanna try what's the other things, you feel free to do it. I'm not gonna check it, sorry. And the wings, the same. This is the top of the wings, inside of the winglet, outside of the winglet, and bottom of the wing, and sharp parts related with the wings, like the flaps things. And also this, I believe this is the rudder in the tail of the plane. As I said, feel free to find out by yourself what it is. And this is the text one. This is, I believe, I think it's very important. If you wanna put the airline name here or the logo, anything, you can do it here. You don't need to do it in the fuselage straight away. You can do it here. But this file, where is in this file? This file is divided in 4 quarters, split in 4 quarters. So the top one is for, ironically, is for the bottom of the belly of the plane. At the belly of the plane, just where the landing gear and the center fuel tank is. You can put here anything you want, any text, any picture, anything, just for the belly of the plane. Here in the second quarter, you can find what will go next to the windows on the front part of the fuselage. I mean the front part of the windows for the passenger windows, sorry. And this one, the third one, is the back part of the passenger windows. It will show just on that area. The last quarter will show just underneath the cockpit and the front door, more or less in that area. Obviously, the second, third, and fourth quarters, those will be duplicated and will be on both sides of the plane, but not the belly one, because there is only one belly for the plane. And the last thing for the test file, just if you don't want to show the background on the plane, because it could look like very ugly. For example, if your background is black and the plane is white, you will see the shape of the square or the rectangle. I don't know, I don't remember the name, sorry. the shape of this like a square, and it will be very ugly. Just make sure it's transparent. Just make it transparent. Anything you don't want to see in the plane, on the plane, just make it transparent and save the file just as I have shown you before, and it will work. Let's go now to the next thing. Textures, CFG, nothing. Don't touch it. Just make sure it is in the folder, but don't touch it. And the thumbnails, there are two, one bigger, one smaller. You can show here anything you want, the logo, the name of the company, and a screenshot of the plane, anything you want. just to show it as a preview when you want to choose any livery in the game. Now let's go back to the textures folders, or the root of the texture folders. In here we need to edit this aircraft CFG document. I open it with the text editor. There's a few settings here, I don't know what they're for, but we need to pay attention to this one, FLT sim. Here we will need to copy any of them, this block of the text, and copy and paste it at the end or wherever you want. Because why wherever you want? Because here, as you can see, there are numbers 0, 1 and 2, 3, 4. All right, okay, I know how to count, and I'm sure you too. But this is the order the livery will show in the game. So number 0 will be the first one. I have the default plane, the default livery for that, and you can edit them. If you want your own livery to be the second one, you can write down the flash name, your own livery number 1, but make sure there is no 2 with the same number. If you do that thing, then you go to the first one, to the number 1, and modify it, edit it, and make it to be the last one, so there are no 2 with the same number. Once you have done that, we're not finished with this file yet. This is the variation name. You can write down the name of the airline company or the name you wanna give it to it. Here the texture, this is really important, because here this is where the name of the folder. So you need to, here is delta, you need to make sure this matches the name of your folder without the texture dot. After the dot, make sure it matches, because if it doesn't, the game won't find anything. The game won't find anything and it won't work. So make sure it matches the name. Now we got a couple of more of these names. This will show in the game as the airline that flies that livery, so you can write down whatever you want here. And I usually, for the UI variation, I write down the same name than the folder. I think it's not very important, but just usually do that thing. Here I'm gonna tell you a couple of tips more, because this is not necessary, but if you wanna customize your own plane better, you can edit the tail number and write down whatever you want here in the ATC ID. And also you even are able to change the color, and I believe it's in CMYK format, but you will need to write down here in hexadecimal, but 2 for the C, the cyan, magenta, yellow and black. But if you are not sure how this works, just leave it. And also for the font, I'm not modifying the font, I'm leaving the default one. If you want to try, it's under your responsibility. Now we have finished with this one. Just save it. I'm not gonna save it, I haven't done any change. Are we done? Not yet. If you go to the game, you will see there's a new livery, but you will see there is no thumbnail, and if you click in the livery and try to load it, you will see a totally blank plane, like you have put the plane into a pool of white paint, more or less totally blank. Why? Because though the game is trying to load it, there are a few things we need to change. We need to go back to the main folder of the plane liveries. This is the for the A320 for me, and find the layout JSON file. Just open it with the text processor and editor, the text editor. Here what we find like scripts just to open or to find every single file that needs to be uploaded or loaded. Sorry, every single file that needs to be loaded. These are all of this pack first, then we go back to the texture folders. The aircraft CFG is this one. As you can see, these are the folders where it is saved, and then the file with the is extension. And here, as you can see, there is a lot of files for the different airliners. This is all the files that Delta is loading in the game. So if we get into Delta folder, these are all the files. So make sure you select. If you get the Delta one, just copy the Delta files. Copy this one, this thing for the Delta. If you edit the Iberia, go to Iberia, copy them. Anything you add, you need to make sure that the file is here with its name and extension, like this. Everything, the DDS, JSON, everything. The thumbnails are texture. Okay, here thumbnails. All right. Okay, once you have copied them, I usually put them at the bottom, but I need to tell you one thing, because you copy them and you might find the comma, and there could be a comma here. So make sure if before you paste them, just make sure there is a comma, and then you paste them down there. Make sure of that there is a comma before you paste everything, all the text. And at the bottom, once you have finished copying it, you might find it like this. Then just remove the last comma and make sure the end of the document is like this, without the comma, just to avoid any kind of issue. Just for that, just make sure that, okay, if you have taken Delta, you need to just modify this Delta for anything you have renamed it. The name of the folder, this is the name of the folder where you have played your own livery. Make sure it matches. Just rename this, and everything will go smooth and fine. One last thing is, what is this size and date? Is it important? Well, it's not important. I have made modification to the DDS files. Obviously the size will change, the date should change, but it doesn't matter, it will work anyway. Once you have finished doing this, just save it. I'm not gonna save it, and we are done. Now we are done. Now you should go into the game and you should be able to see your own livery inside the game. This should work also if you wanna download different packages of new liveries that you have found on the internet. You can add them manually like this. I think there is one program just to edit the aircraft CSG and the layout JSON. I think there is a software for that. I'm not sure, but anyway, if you do it manually, it will work. You make sure that it will work. If you download new packages, just make sure to do it manually or using a software. That's it. I hope you have understand how this works. I hope I have explained myself the best I could, and you have been able to understand me, and you will be able to create as many liveries as you want. And this is it for now, and bye bye.